Raise your hallucinoid chicken.
Okay, so we are up to session number 54, or as it is, season 5, episode 4. And we are doing our Star Wars Mandalorian campaign, where the characters will have had quite a few days between the last session and this session, as they've been putting their station back together. So today online we have Mark.
Haha! The true star of the journey is Ash, the Mandalorian big gun expert and soon to be professional pilot. So. And hater of medical droids.
Do you really hate the medical droids, or do you just hate what people suggested that they're there to do?
I'm doing this before David gets here, okay? So I'm not going to mention it after David gets here, okay? Over to you guys.
And that's when David shows up.
And at the table today we have Mike.
Damn it. Hi, I'm playing Brum Brum Crash, a Gungan pilot, pod racer.
Now family.
From the Panorama Mountain Raceway of Naboo, situated next to Billy Griffin Waterways. Have a pink and purple mohawk, blue eyes, and I'm athletic and coordinated.
And you've actually learned how to shoot your gun recently.
Mm.
A real fantasy game.
Yep.
Pointy end goes that way.
Yep. Gun go boom.
Then we have Kesley.
I am playing Chaotic Cape Weir, Mandalorian, former bounty hunter, former sector ranger, now thug, I suppose, martial artist / tactician for the family, working on proving to herself that she is worthy of being a Mandalorian and really trying to regain her reputation within the family after her failed time as sector ranger, being captured, all that stuff. But she's doing her best. Made little headway, which is nice. Was considered a part of the family by a certain Lieutenant Page, so that was nice. Validation.
So, what do people remember of the last session?
So last couple sessions, we have been sent to a station to kind of be the exterminators of the area and to clear it out, fix it up, all that jazz. So after pretty bad fights to begin with, last session we ended up moving around, taking care of all the other vermin around the place, and then finding out all the tips and tricks around the station. We figure out that this is a former Sith-built station, so red is good, green and blue are bad. With that, we end up finding the commander station office, where there's punishments stuff that you can turn on and off. You also find the captain's quarters, which also allows you to send coordinated punishments on and off throughout systems. Either way, we ended up just clearing everything out, making sure everything worked the best with capacity. I think we ended up finding it was only at like 10% fixed before we needed more stuff, and that's when scout troops come in. So the leader of the group is Lieutenant Page, and she says 300 to 500 people and supplies are inbound within the day. Mostly coinite, with some few different actual Mandalorians, but mostly Coinite, because Coinites are our best allies and people that we work with at this stage. So, Ash has been training as a pilot, helping to bring in and out the ships. Brim does all the kind of stuff in the central hub, kind of organizing that. Carla, Kaya, and Thea help direct repairs and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of being the delegators to the Coinites of what is needed around the station. And that is it. That's all I got.
I thought they had some fanboys all over him.
He did have some fanboys come in, so
Yes.
trying to be like, "Oh my God, are you the actual Brim Crash?" And they
I've
ended
also saved
up beating his high score on the simulation game.
Mm.
So I'm sure in these couple days you've been trying to prove yourself.
Until that gets deleted.
That's right, and also saved Ash from destroying all of the
Gets
medical
reset.
back.
So 30 days have passed since all these Coinites entered. It has been...
30 or 20?
well, that puts us...
I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry, I was just checking. I said 30 days, but
30.
I think it was actually less than that. So I put it at day 42, and we finished on day 19, so that makes it
23?
23 days. Close. 23 days later, you managed to get the station.
Is this when the zombies come in?
Would you like zombies?
No,
No.
I can do zombies.
no Star Wars zombies, please.
And I'm sure I can come up with a zombie version that is all about biting and passing it on.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all fast zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And then they burst out of your chest occasionally.
Space dragons.
That sounds kind of crazy. No, I'm good.
There are space dragons in the setting.
Which is cool.
So, it has been 30 days, and
23.
23 days. So day 42 since this season started, and Kayana finds herself in charge of the space station as Khalid has gone off to do other stuff, and Thea has not returned yet.
Oh, that's right, because she is off on a medical thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you're the de facto bottom rung of the leadership.
Back on top! Okay.
You've got as many titles.
Now,
as
once I
Daenerys
find this out,
Targaryen.
if there's a quiet moment between
Well, that's my other
Kayana
character.
and Ash just does a quick fist pump next without anyone saying it, kind of thing. Cool. So, yeah.
The breaker of chains.
Oh, that's my D&D character.
Oh.
I have at least 20 titles at this point.
Mm.
It's pretty great. Her whole goal is just to gain titles.
Each session she wants to own a new title.
Exactly. It's a good sign.
Getting there.
It's working on it. So there's still.
So yes, you find yourself in charge with Lieutenant Page not really responding to being told what to do very well. As she's one of those hotshot pilots that says, I can sort out my end. What, you mean I need to ask for authorization? I'll remember to do that when I get back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, my paperwork. I'll get that done. Yeah.
Remember to lodge that after I fire the lasers.
Oh, this is the leader of the fighter people. Is that right?
That is correct.
Oh, okay. Ash is, well, conflicted with it, but somehow Ash is just feeling a strange liking to this person. I don't know why. It's just the random, kind of act of defiance kind of thing.
Less random, more like ongoing.
Yeah, I know, but it just like for authority kind of thing which was more up Ash's kind of thing. So yeah,
Okay.
Ash has not a big crush, a small crush. I think.
What, you mean I should have given her a red hat?
No. My character doesn't have that issue like other games. Decent.
Your character
One
may
character
not.
out of 3 games, that's all I need. I need more than one.
All right. So
And so yes,
Kayana is in charge. That's great.
and you're in charge on the day all the lights go on.
Yay! Great
And someone
job.
says the station is fully operational.
Oh, now we're fully operational.
I do ask about the medical areas that have been fixed up or not.
They say it is operating at 110%.
I ask more specific questions of, has the medical droids been re-evaluated in there or not?
They have been evaluated and they have been given a A+ tick.
Was this a Mandalorian or a Coinite that said this?
Well, he was checking the system logs and he's meant them be
Oh,
given
the
an
system logs say it.
A+ tick.
Alright. I trust it. Cool. Perfect. Well then, yeah, kinda does her best to kinda retake this leadership role, to try to regain the air that she had before as former sector ranger, but just that slight bit more of intimidation behind it rather than by the book behind it.
Well, you do have the commander's office and the punishment zone buttons.
Yeah. Kind of doesn't hide the fact that she knows the punishment zone buttons. She doesn't take them out either. The site is 100% operational. Just saying. So, they're there, and she repurposes them for defense. Is what she'll say to stop intruders. So,
Yes, I think we have an intruder in Zone B. What do you mean? While they're working slowly, there must be an intruder.
it's just in case pirates decide to, try to board. So, this is hotly contested space now. So,
Well, you have heard pirates gotten wind that there are 400 Quainites on this station fully armed.
they're not gonna try.
And unless there's like a 10-to-1 odds on pirates versus Quainites,
Yeah, they're not gonna try.
it's very much like saying that there's 400 really angry Wookiees on the station,
Yeah, that's a bad time.
itching to rip the arms off people.
Yeah.
That's pretty much describing the Quainites at an everyday situation.
Sounds about right to me.
If Ash did listen to this discussion, Ash goes, yeah, I've seen it before. Wookiees are very harsh. I'll on the way out, I'll escort the captain out to her ship when she goes and just say, look, I'd like to keep in touch in the future to catch up, just to
Which
improve my
captain?
pilot skills, if things like that. And
Lieutenant Page, is that who you're talking about?
yeah.
Well,
So,
she's
but-
not leaving.
She's
she's not leaving? Okay.
assigned to the station.
She says, well, if you go into the airlock, it's that way. I use my ship.
Yeah, okay. Point taken. I thought you were leaving. Sorry. Okay.
You can't take my command that easily, Sonny, she says.
That's right, okay. We might have to sort it out later.
She taps
Give her
you
a
on the
wink.
helmet and says, good try, better luck next time.
I'll give her a wink on thing. I'll try it later.
This is
Give her a
not the
walk
way.
Winking through a helmet. Oh, I haven't got my helmet on now. No, probably don't. But yeah.
Probably not a good time.
But, I'll go back to Kiana and I can't say BBC. Sorry, Brum Brum Crash. There's a reason behind this, man. And I said, go. Okay, so we've got part 1 done. Are we ready to head down to Elrood area to meet these people that we're supposed to meet?
We're supposed to meet your people?
So I'm pretty sure our rest of our thing was to meet the people down in the city that you guys used to come from, which I've never been. Oh, have I been to?
Well, none of them have been on this planet
I
here.
was gonna say none of us have been on the planet at all.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking it's the original planet we started with. Sorry.
No,
The
this
original
is
planet
all,
was Elrood.
Yeah, original
Okay.
planet was Elrood. This is the station around Almaran.
It is correct. It's one of the
Which is a
minor
offshoot.
planets.
Yeah, it's an offshoot of the main areas. But
Or do
the
we go-
closest main planet would be Terrinoth.
It should bring the map up for you.
Yeah.
If I can
Yeah.
actually get my
No,
notes
it's just
to
like. I was just either we communicate with them first
No.
time we're coming down, or we go down and see them. I didn't know how we want to do it. So
I was gonna say, what do we know about the planet Almaran was a mining planet, is that right?
Well, it was a planet that had been pretty much written off. So the fact that whatever it did,
Yeah.
most people don't know about.
Yeah, okay.
So that roughly gives you an idea of where you are.
Yeah.
What? Where?
So,
you're
we're at the very top.
very top star, next to the green line.
Oh, Almaran.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yep. Sorry, I was trying to. It's very hard to read on the.
I was looking that way. And
on Discord.
Well, it's because Elrood is at the very bottom right of that picture.
Yep.
It's just not there right now.
Yep.
So Elrood is down there. Terrinoth, which is where Fabio quote unquote died, was the other planet that was our main planet that we've been on before. The Mandalorian planet that we were just on is somewhere hidden within the drift. And now we just set up the station up in Almaran, which was formerly a rebel base, which we didn't know that at the time, but formerly owned by Darren Mining. But now has mostly just been quote unquote abandoned for
Now,
what most people know.
is this classified as Outer Rim, Martin, or Sarah?
It is Outer Rim, yes.
Could I, based on what we know of the planet we have to go to, could I do a...
Which
Outer
planet do you
Rim
have to go
knowledge?
to?
I was gonna say, where do you think we're going? We don't have to
Well,
go anywhere.
I thought we had to go meet some other people. I thought it was the second part of it. We had to capture this place and had to go meet somebody to help with some local business.
From what I know, we were just sent here to clean up this area, but let me check my notes.
Maybe that's where Khalid and Thea are off to while they're saying they're off on other leave.
Yeah.
You might not have been given the whole picture.
Or didn't they? I can't. They did or not? No, I was just gonna. If we're gonna go to a planet, I was just gonna do an outer rim intelligence thing. But if we don't know where we're going, then and that wasn't mentioned to us, then yeah. That's why I thought we mentioned that we had to go see somebody to help them out with some business, but
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you were talking about the asking for volunteer from the elders about wanting to set up a new covert area in the Elrood Sector, but that was setting up the station Almaran, and that we
I thought then we had
sent.
to go see somebody else when we spoke to. I can't remember who we spoke to, and we had to go visit some planet to help some local council people or something like that, or I don't think it was rebels, but to help them out with some issues, and we couldn't make ourselves known as Mandalorians or something. I can't remember what.
Well, you weren't supposed to make yourself known as Mandalorians on the station.
Yeah, no, we were just meant to be, quote unquote, exterminators.
Whereas Kaya, so Thea got extra information which she may have passed on to Khalid and the party may have overheard, but the party wasn't tasked with any of that extra stuff.
Okay, if we didn't know it, I won't do anything else. I didn't.
So good.
Yep.
I couldn't remember if everyone knew it. I thought it's been a while since that was hospital time, so I can't remember what happened.
So, yeah. Best we know for now is we succeeded in the mission that we were given, was to set up the station. We did it! Yay! Good job, us. So,
And you've actually discovered that the planet that you're orbiting, Almar, is a tropical paradise. It's covered in sandy, colourful beaches. Rolling orange grass covers hills and lovely flowers. It has a very temperate, unique temperature moderating pollen in the atmosphere, keeping the entire planet comfortably warm all year round. It's the sort of planet you'd love to retire to if you didn't want to have to kill anything, which means it's not really suitable for Mandalorians. What would you do, sun at the beach?
Would I know about the populace down there from an outer rim check, or?
It would be very hard to know about the populace down there because it's not in any databanks.
Oh, okay.
And none of you have actually had time to get down to the planet since you had come here. And now that you've got the station fully up online, Command Chair registers that there is a small beacon on the planet below.
We've been working 28 hours a day for 23 days.
They do give them random hours for a day and year, and random numbers for days in a year. So you can, when you compare it to the way they do it, it's actually quite amusing.
So there's a beacon pinging from below.
Yep.
I mean, while everyone...
And it's registered on your system calling it Alma Downside, which you remember that the original name of the station was Alma Upside.
Upside down.
I do suggest to Kiana that if we have time, it's probably good to know that we have a on-planet location that we could use. That would be handy.
I think it'll be good to investigate what's going on down there. I'm sure we have plenty of family members that would love to set up there, but if there is a homing beacon being sent, then that means that there is potentially other people or beings down there that I think we need to go and investigate to see either if they need our help or if they would become a threat. Knowing that this station in particular was set up to be very insidious, we would have to expect that when we go down as well. So I think I'll take Ash and Brum, and we'll leave Lieutenant Page and B1 in charge. Unless B1 is able to join us eventually, but we'll see.
Well, I'll maybe suggest if we can somehow send a message back without any sort of security breaches back to, I'm going to call it head base, as such, and see if was there anything on the, I suppose, the notation when we got, captured this place that we had to look at the planet as well, or was it purely just the base?
It was mainly just the base from what I remember from the instructions from Carlo's uncle Vulcan. The elders just wanted us to set up the space, and so now I think it is within our duty to guarantee the safety of the whole system. So now let's go investigate.
Okay.
Okay.
So
You're the boss.
Your little freighter has been fueled and ready to go.
Cool.
Having your own station means it's a little easier to keep your stuff in tip-top shape. The downside is you might have to come up with ways to pay for it all.
True.
Alright, I suppose I should probably do a astrogation check.
Well, you won't need to because
So I
you're
can-
on the same system.
Oh,
Astrogation,
yeah.
astrogation is for jumping between
okay.
star systems.
Yeah, so
The
like
other
planet
one.
station, and we just need to go down.
a
Piloting
piloting.
planetary.
Piloting space will, because you'll be using a spacecraft.
Oh, well, piloting space then.
That's the one that you need, yes.
That one.
So until we get into
I'll be backup driver for him if he needs a second person.
Cool.
Well, it's a freighter. It can
So-
actually take multiple people on it. So what dice does it say you need? Should have numbers in brackets.
Numbers in brackets is 1 bracket 3,
So that represents 1 yellow and 3 green.
and I have, and that makes up the 4 in agility.
Yes.
Right.
You can go for it. You trust yourself?
It's an average check, so it's not too hard to do so. So sometimes these can be quite amazing, as this is how Mark photocopy does.
There's no red dice in this one, so
I was gonna say you said
It is a
that.
success, and you do end up with 1 strain.
Yep.
As it was a bit harder than you expected.
That camera's not working, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, is it frozen?
Okay,
Let's go
Yeah,
to
it is.
the one.
It's frozen.
that's okay. I can fix that. We have the technology.
That's okay. Just thought I'd give you a heads
We
up.
have the power.
It also depends on how much it actually lags things. So amusingly, I end up you basically set up the say to do stuff in the new council, and it just resets it perfectly. Otherwise, you have to go, which camera is it when they're all named the same?
That's okay. I saw somebody's hand go over the top. It's good.
Yep.
So good. Okay, so yes, you ended up with 3 successes and a threat. You feel some strain as you bounce the ship out of the hangar and spiral down towards the planet.
I've clicked in my seatbelt just in case because there's no problems driving. So.
For a Gungan, this is not a bad place for you. There's lots of water.
Hooray!
Probably say about 80% of the planet's water with lots of islands.
The irony of someone that can't swim playing a character that can swim.
Kyna's 100% down for retiring here. Just becoming an island warlord, but you know, it's fine.
Well, it is quite possible to have your own dominion on an island that no one else lives on.
Yes.
Because it's that idyllic. It's the sort of resort planet that's not on the main fare. So buying new weapons would be very hard here.
A little bit.
Which would be the only downside for a Mandalorian.
Kyna doesn't care too much about weapons. These are her weapons.
Okay, keeping your armor well maintained.
That part's gonna be hard. Especially all this sea salt, you know.
Okay, so as you're coming down, you see what appears to be a village near the beacon. All the buildings are in pyramid-style shapes, looking like they've been there for centuries.
Very Art Deco.
I just tell Grumble not to hit the pyramids. That's all.
And you find that they do have a small little starport down here. It's a small control tower. And it looks like that the city itself is big enough to hold about 100,000 people. So it's not a small city by any means for an out-of-the-way place, but you expect it to be the largest city on this planet. Everything else would be villas on islands.
When I'm watching this on the way down, or through scanners and whatever else I see out the windows, is there anything in the actual... Does that look familiar to me, like the way they design things? Or like, would I know a particular race would?
No one builds things like that now.
Okay, no, I'm just trying to work out who these people might be, that's all.
The people here, there would be no one left alive who built it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Oh, is that one
A robot!
Oh, it's B1.
And we can have David introduce himself.
A robot.
Oh, hello. I am David. I play the Moral Compass, the avatar of order, and no, that's all nonsense. I play B1, the Chaos Goblin modified B1 battle droid.
That's more accurate.
And to catch David up, you're flying towards the planet that you've been orbiting after spending 23 days working on maintenance to get the station up and running.
Yep, cool.
They've found out that there is a beacon that calls itself Almaran downside, where your station was originally labelled Almaran upside.
Yep. Nice one.
And so they've flown down towards the planet, which they found is a tropical paradise planet with lots of little islands, lots of waterways, no major temperature fluctuations or weather conditions.
Sounds great for these horrible organic meat sacks.
And they're flying towards what appears to be a settlement that is big enough to take about 100,000 people, where all the buildings are pyramid shaped.
Amazing. I wonder if we can Oppenheimer this place.
I was gonna say, we do know that the station itself was formerly Sith, and so we're going in hesitant, knowing that the Almaran downside. Red is good, green and blue is bad. That's what we're going with.
Okay.
So,
That's from our experience on the ship.
yeah.
While I would flying down, I mentioned to Jan, I said, "Who did you invite B1 onto the ship? Because B1's right behind you."
Fine.
I mostly expect B1 to be there when he needs to be. And so...
I give you the strangest look, but I go, okay, yeah.
Well, no one leaves B1 in the
You
corner.
always expect me to be there.
Oh my god.
I actually find that quite funny, actually, so he doesn't shy. It's actually... This droid's got some humour, I'll go with that.
Well, they don't call me Dr. Chuckles for nothing.
As you come into the starport, you see that there is space for a whole 6 starships.
Well, we only have one.
That's not that many.
So it sounds like to me we land ours and then we disable all the other 5.
Well, there are no other 5.
I was gonna say, as we're landing, is there any evidence of living creatures around?
Well, you see a guy in an official-looking uniform in red.
Well, is he living?
He appears to be
no,
living.
by other 5 I meant the other spaces, the other 5 spaces for somewhere to land.
Yeah, the other 5 spaces are places you can land. Yes.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna bomb them. No, I mean that's an awful idea.
Yes, we don't want a Barbie
Barbieheimer.
I am very tempted to go and see the Barbie movie and begin to model B1 off Ken.
Please, 100%. The Barbie movie is so good.
So does this mean that you're not going to talk unless Kayana's in the same scene as you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. B1 doesn't exist unless Khan is there.
That's it. That is.
Because that was one of those secret
And
things they put
he's-
into the Barbie movie.
I know, it's so good. That's actually an actual line. It's so good.
Big one enough.
Yes! He can't be enough.
So yes, you were greeted by what looks to be a Twi'lek in red clothing. All little triangle symbols on the some sort of rank system using triangles on the uniform.
Ugh, a Twi'lek? Ew.
Misa say Husa. Husa.
Yeah, so, I guess we'll get off the ship and, ask him. I'll introduce myself as, kind of Capier of the... Oh, wait, no. I will just introduce myself as Kayana Capier. And, saw the beacon coming from the station. Who might you be?
Oh, my name is Jeff Brian Grape.
I love this. Okay.
I am here to serve. You are the first ship that's landed here in 6 months. Ever since the
Yeah, I can see why.
ever since the station went offline and our beacon stopped working. It just seemed to have come online today, and we're hoping that meant someone was going to come down and visit. Would you happen to be that someone?
Yeah, I am one of the ones in charge of the station. The station is now 100% operational.
Does this mean you're taking charge of the city down below as well?
That is correct. We are.
I'm sorry, who fixed it?
It was a collective effort.
He pulls out a data pad and hands it to you. Here's salary owing. Pulls out another data pad and hands it to you. Here's supplies needed.
Yep.
Pulls out another data pad and hands it to you. Here's work that needs to be done.
Yep.
Pulls out another data pad and hands it to you. Here's what we're short on in personnel.
Yep.
Pulls out another pad and hands it to you. Here's the raise I would like.
No. I'll tell Jeff. I was like, well, I thank you very much for being so efficient and having all of this stuff underway. So that'll definitely.
I'm just so happy someone else is in charge and it's their problem. He says he starts to walk off.
Okay.
Hey, Kiana, I could use some of those data pads for parts.
I will hand all of them to B1.
Excellent. B1 begins systematically wiping the memory of all of the data pads.
I will tell him before he does that. I'm just like, B1, please, can you just save this data so like I can actually send it to people who need it so we can actually organize this? Then you can do whatever you want with them.
What data?
Oh my god.
You hear from the distance, I have backups.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I have the ability to throw these at your head.
Ash giggles in the helmet going, I'd like B1 now.
They're saved on box drop.
There we go.
Oh, you like me now. Just wait until I replace your limbs with something a little bit more efficient.
That's how I got this arm.
And while he's saying that, you hear the sounds of drums playing. And you see what looks like a marching band come up the street from where the guy had walked off to, followed by lots of little kids dragging streamers through the air.
Oh my god.
Wow, it's a good thing that I'm not organic, because these starving people might be a little bit cannibalistic. Sucked in.
I holster my big gun, just look at Kiana, just waiting for the opportunity. So
Misa whispers, maybe they're fences.
Yeah, I will let whatever this is come our way. I'll try to get basic head count of how many living beings are here so that I can finally start getting them food and supplies for whatever they
the band looks like it's got about 20 people in the band.
At least 20.
And there's
It was on the data pad.
over 50 kids with streamers. They've managed to misspell your name on the sign.
Aw, cute. How do they know my name?
Well, you did talk to the head guy who probably had an open mic connection to the
They
rest
did
of
it
the
really
team.
fast. So
Well, this
Yeah,
place is
for a
built
town that's
completely
They
on
probably
the
just-
road.
they probably just have the
sure
blank
put that
space, they're just
together
like-
fast.
and go.
And it does look like it's been written on in crayon.
I love that.
And I'm sure they love the taste of it too.
And they're
Also-
coming your way.
Oh,
So
sorry.
you've got 80 odd people coming your way with blaring music and excited kid squealings.
Sounds about right.
I'm just waiting for work. Like I've got the gun ready to go. I'm just waiting for work. If it gets too noisy, then
Misa says, thank God they're not playing Swift Taylor.
Okay. So I guess we'll let them do whatever they're doing, and then.
And they're all heading directly for Kayana.
Yeah.
I'm taking 10 minutes back away from Diana right now. She started this. She needs to deal with it. So.
And you find kids are coming up to you with wreaths of flowers to put around your neck.
I will take it very humbly. Take it.
And luckily for you, they're not poisonous.
That's great. And then I will.
Or have a Garrett wire hidden in there somewhere.
I will offer to put some on Ash and Broom
No,
Broom as
no,
well. I
that's
know better
refusing.
than to
No.
offer to put them on B1.
Yes.
They have little title placards on them.
Yes.
Ash refuses to have any flowers or any whatsoever.
And it's during this that you notice that most of their musical instruments seem to have been made from B1 droids.
If I notice that, I just, hey, I think there's something on the ship B1. You might have to check out.
Hey, yeah, you can do that. I'm briefly going to Google what genocide means and see what the punishment is for committing genocide.
I just look at Kiana going, come sort this out.
Oh, hang on. It's death.
And that's when you notice that most of their drums are made out of clone trooper helmets.
That's really funny. That is really funny. So like I'll kind of pull our guys aside and just be like, look, these people down here have been here for forever. Let them have their fun. We can use this to our advantage. That we now have a bit more loyalty on our side. So, put on a happy face, put up with it, and let's figure out how we can organize this to keep these guys happy.
I suggest you try to find out about.
Why do you even bother talking to me? I'm just going to ignore you anyway.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes I have hope. I should know better.
That's when you realise it was B1 who did the A+ tip for the medical droids.
Immediately try and kill everything.
And then Kayana takes some of those flowers that Ash has been refusing and gives him a flower crown.
B1 a flower crown?
No.
Ash?
Ash.
No, Ash just throws it on the ground.
B1 will take Kayana's arm, and she kind of wants to keep it, so.
No, it goes straight on the ground straight away. Not going to have it on me. No.
So Ash is refusing an honorific from his supervisor?
Yes.
30 days in Zakula.
Punishment zone activated.
B1 nods to Ash with a tiny bit of respect.
No, I'm not into that kind of stuff. No. Alright.
So yeah, Kayana will, again, turn to the people, let them do their thing, have their cheer, whatever, and then she will ask Jeff or whoever to kind of direct her to whatever the head office is down here.
Oh, that would be the spaceport. I'll be back there shortly, he says.
Okay. Gotcha.
I do partial duty at the spaceport because we get visitors about... Well, this is the first one this rotation, he says.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Which is also the first one this month, which is probably the first one this season.
How long's the rotation?
Well, the rotation here, each day is only 30 hours, and you get a glorious 15 hours of direct sun. And the sun is just a calming sort of radiation. It generally doesn't burn unless you apply the cooking oil to the skin, which we learned the hard way is probably not the best substitute for sunblock.
Yeah, I bet you guys love putting cooking oil on each other and watching each other cook. I bet that's definitely something that you don't immediately follow up cannibalism with.
Well, it's only cannibalism if you're eating the same race, he says.
I knew it. Guns! Actually, I don't care if organics eat organics. It doesn't bother me at all.
But we have a good supply of fish.
That's good, at least.
I'll ask the obvious question. How many people here?
There was about 80...
There was 80 people in...
I'm asking how many people in this whole town, I say.
In this town itself, there is 130,000.
I just go back to B1. That's a lot for Genesys. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, no. So, look, hang on
Small
a second.
numbers, small
Do you
numbers.
have television, like a general broadcast system that people watch for entertainment?
Oh no, we don't bother with that. We've just got music where we have our band play of a night and of a morning, so people know when it's time to rest and time to get up.
Oh, guys, have I got a concept for you? I'd like to introduce you to a show. It's called B1, Greatest Bounty Hunter Ever.
We had someone bring that round a few years back, but it never took off. Apparently they thought the main actor was unbelievable.
Okay, we can
Maybe
burn
a
the
bit
planet
robotic
now.
in his performance.
But they did have this one with this Jawa that everyone thought, well, a Jawa...
Gets a blaster in the face, much shot, but he ends up with a blaster pointed directly at his face.
He stops at that point.
You need to stop talking right now.
He looks dejected.
B1 notes that he did shut up and lowers the blaster.
I try my best to kind of reassure him that, like, you know, my companion's a bit of a rough crew, but we are here to essentially now take control of the station, be your supply lines for what you need, all that kind of stuff. So we thank you for your loyalty, and we thank you for further negotiations as we work forward. I don't have much power to decide a lot of these negotiations, but I can put you in touch with the right people.
Well, we're waiting on a judicator, so are you going to be the judicator? I hope the droid's not the judicator.
I'm happy to be an adjudicator.
I believe I could take over that role.
Well, some one of those data pads I gave you had the whole list of waiting for judgments.
Yeah. I can take over that role temporarily until a permanent position can be filled.
Misa says.
Hey, I don't technically get employed by you. I could use a job.
Bailiff. Okay.
Oh, I don't like it.
Executioner.
So Big One looks to them and asks, so you guys have just been working here?
Oh, it's a tourist place. So tourism has been rather down of late. We used to get a lot of people from Darylin here. This was the main Darylin hotspot, as they would say it.
Well,
Okay,
I got some bad
what's the
news for
attraction
you.
here?
So, what was that, David?
What's the attraction here?
Idyllic, peaceful relaxation, calming music to greet you of a morning and to help you go to sleep at night. None of these pay-per-view TV shows that take money and don't really entertain you. And less likely to be hunted down and killed by bounty hunters because, well, bounty hunters just don't come here.
Misa say like a
Yeah,
health
yeah.
spa.
Oh, wow. So there's so this is a hive for people who are escaping very registered bounty hunters, right?
Not really, because that would mean that we're actually have people who are on the run with money to spend, which is a very rarity, he says. Most people who are on the run can't afford to live here because, well, they have no real skills, and they would stand out, and to be honest, we'd turn them in for the cash ourselves if we found out they had a bounty on them.
Yeah. That sounds like a terrible thing to do, to snitch on a customer. So do you guys have any natural resources on this place, like any production value?
Beautiful
Anything
sunlight.
other than just a pleasure station?
Idyllic days, calm weather. A temperate world and temperament.
Looks at Ash. This is a brothel world.
Yeah, I was thinking about the natural resource thing too. Hey, do you reckon you could do a scan of the planet, see if there's actually any natural resources here?
No, there's gonna be nothing here. This is a brothel. This whole operation is a brothel. Can't you guys see?
What I'm hearing in a PG game is I'm hearing solar farm for rechargeable batteries. This is what I'm hearing.
I look at Big One going,
Musk,
yes, I
Elon.
see your point, but could this be a profitable business that...
That's the thing. In the area, how many people actually have downtime and free cash that isn't people we don't like?
Not since the Empire took Daryl and have people had that much money to throw around.
Exactly. So, the only people who can do that would be Empire, and we're not fans of them.
And they haven't been advertising.
And they're
to the
not
Empire.
fans of us. So...
Okay, so basically what you're telling me here is there's a gigantic unemployed workforce here.
Yeah. It's a bad time.
I asked the
Now,
guy...
is it?
I'd like to
Is
know
it
when
a
they...
bad time for us?
For them.
Hmm.
For us,
Well,
we have a new
guys-
workforce.
We don't say we have funds.
Full of slaves.
Now, the first thing, I'd like to go up to the same guy that we've been talking to from the start, if he's still
Yep.
there.
So, yes, Jeff, Brian, Greg is still here.
Yep, I'll just ask the question, and I point towards the instruments and the helmets and stuff. I said, where did you get that stuff from?
Oh, they're things that are leftovers from when we had the Confederacy laying claim to this region during the Clone Wars.
Well, Ash, you raise a good point. What else have you got from there?
Yes, I say B1 and Ash are really keen to know what's going on with this. Is there a place where we can check that out to make sure there's no dangerous stuff there for you guys?
Sure. We have a museum. Unfortunately, that's going to cost you.
B1 just stares directly at him. Are you serious?
He says, yes, even droids must pay. We are an equal opportunity place.
I unwrapped my sidewinder and go, really? We're just investigating to make sure that nothing happens to your town, and in case there's any explosives that have been put in the wrong way, wouldn't you like us to check it over first to make sure it's all safe and no one gets injured? I give him I'm not sure if
he asks, are you threatening me here, sir? He says.
No, I'm just suggesting that wouldn't it be helpful that we don't lose any more lives and it's kind of due to this handling of military equipment?
Well, hang on, Ash. Hang on. B1 looks to Kayana. Don't you run this place?
Now I do.
Well, you don't have the paperwork anymore because someone deleted it.
Yes.
And you haven't signed it across yet.
Yes. So.
Oh, so we can just leave and not tell anybody about this place and then disable the space station again. Good idea.
That sounds good to me.
Oh my goodness. Both of y'all are being hostile for no reason. So.
These guys want to charge us to go do a safety inspection on their antique weaponry.
Oh no, they want you to charge to go see a museum with their relics that they own, which is totally typical in a tourist area. Oh no.
You're paying.
So, yeah, I'm asking the same thing. Are you paying?
I would pay.
He says that is 50 credits a person, he says.
That sounds about right. How big is... I'm not saying that I'm going to do it, but how big is your museum?
Well, we have a 10-story building filled with relics from the Clone Wars.
And how interactive is it?
Well, all the droids are still fully operational.
So there you go. Is it worth 50 credits? Probably. So,
all I'm imagining is the weapons and armor stockpile after the fall of the Soviet Union.
And the museum is currently being run by a technical droid from the Confederacy of Independent Systems.
That's funny.
Oh, I'm starting a war.
Ash actually goes in, puts 100 credits in this guy's hand. We'll go now, and I just mention the B1. We'll walk over there now, where we have to go.
Yep.
Misa whispers.
I see the 100 credits worth the trip.
Isa be the problem.
Okay, bye.
So Ash and B1 walk off to this place to make sure the safety check goes through properly.
Says, you have to wait up. I'm the tour guide, he says.
Alright, I guess we're going along to this tour as well.
I go, Kiana, you look after the political stuff. We'll sort out the security.
Well, looks like Jeff takes over the political stuff, so I have to wait until he's done.
With
So
this idiot. Let's
I'm
go.
coming along
Let's find
too.
out more about the history of how they definitely didn't acquire a stockpile of weapons.
Yes, I'm at the same situation. But I'm also thinking in my head about, I might message something to your comms link, to Kiana, saying, I'm just checking what's viable for the space station upstairs. Just so she knows.
We're with you.
We're going with you.
We're on the tour with you.
Because
Really?
to take care of
they're dumb because
I was going to say...
tour guide wants them to come.
no, to take care of the political stuff, the tour guide, Jeff, is the guy I need to talk to. So, I'm going to come with you. So, one, I don't lose track of Jeff, and two, I don't lose track of you two causing any chaos on what is already something that is a peaceful situation that doesn't need to be escalated.
I just look at you like, where's the trust that I've had over the last year or so with you, and whatever it's been.
Well,
And I look going, I understand the B1 unit in my head, but I couldn't understand where I'm just trying to do it proper, considering all this Empire stuff's here. You know, there might be stuff here that might be viable for the space station. I thought it was the right thing to do.
It's the
What
right
B1
thing
does,
to
that's
do
what
to
B1
not.
does. I'm not
The
gonna
right
bother
thing to
B1.
do is to not threaten a non-threatening person.
I didn't flick the switch of my gun. All I did was bring it off my shoulder, and just to make sure there was nothing else. I didn't do any intimidation rolls right then. So I rolled.
Yeah, but you're not falling in with the wrong crowd.
Kayana would point out that there is a time and a place for that kind of behavior, and this is not that time or place.
I just felt the other conversation going nowhere as well. So, okay.
No, that's all good. No, so we'll come along with this. One, to go along with the idea that yes, they do actually have a stockpile of weapons that we need to take count of and see what exactly is going on, to see if this seemingly peaceful interaction really is as peaceful as it seems.
Hey, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
From a player's point of view, and just for a bit of player information, was the itinerary of this whole museum in one of those data pads?
No.
Oh. That's pleasantly surprising.
I'm just concerned of all the critical understanding just on musicians and kids. That worries me, that's all. So.
As you're walking through the city, you do see that there is old structures here with symbols that remind you of that in the databanks of the space station. So making you think it's old Sith writing.
I'm still concerned it's here, where it's because somebody might want to come back and get it one day.
I'm gonna say, we already knew that the station is former Sith, so this isn't surprising in the least. And so...
Oh, no, it doesn't surprise. It's more that I just don't want it to be in the wrong hands, that's all. And I don't know these people well enough yet. So. As a character, anyway.
I would think as characters, our goal is to scrub and repurpose any Sith remnants. We don't know... I was gonna say, from Mandalorian...
Mandalorians actually worked with the Sith.
Yeah, so we're not trying to necessarily strike out of history, it's more just repurpose for our use.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was
just
thinking,
keep away from,
what if this down here could be viable
yeah,
for the
that
state,
too.
and that's not really down here anymore. So yeah, that's
'Cause-
my view.
Meanwhile, B1 is just thinking about how he can capitalize all of this gigantic labor force that's currently unemployed.
Yeah, because that's probably the good point. Because from a Mandalorian perspective, we currently don't like Jedi. I'm trying to remember on the timeline.
From the Space Mandalorians, you find Jedi to be a worthy opponent.
Okay.
But basically someone who can push you beyond your skills.
Okay. Gotcha.
So one-on-one, a Jedi normally beats a Mandalorian.
And then do we see Jedi and Sith being of the same, or do we know that they are opposing?
Your lord would say that they're different.
Okay.
And that the Sith took over.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the Mandalorians knew that.
Yeah.
Because they can both, like, work from home and kill people, I
Yeah.
assume.
It is interesting when you can phone in your death. So as you head towards what appears to be one of the largest pyramids here, you see that on the outside of it, it has COS museum. So it's CIS actually, Confederation of Independent Systems.
Right.
They dropped the O in the abbreviation. And as you walk in, you are greeted by what appear to be 3PO units, sparkling silver, greeting you in native Mando and Gungan and binary.
That's cool.
What do you want, slaves?
Well, they just say they want to greet you and welcome you to their establishment.
I want you to act independently of your own free will, but that ain't gonna happen either. So let's get on with the tour.
Looking inside, you see a map, and on that map, you actually see they have a what it says is a reproduction of a droid construction factory as part of the museum,
Is it a reproduction?
as well as the command sphere of the droid control ships.
Bay1 twitches ever so slightly.
While I'm asking, is there any, like, I asked for if there are any leaflets of the museum that I can read through while we go through the tour?
Yes, there is you can bring up the data screen and have a look at it. It all does have warnings in every language known to you that bringing a weapon inside the facility is grounds for execution.
Really, I'd stop right there, right now. I go, really?
Well, no one's saying it. It's in the pamphlet you're flicking through.
I point this out. Go ahead, David.
No, you're right, man. You're right. You go.
So I'll point this out going, so this rule here, where am I supposed to leave our weapons?
It says that's completely up to you. It's not my problem. You pointed it at me, you deal with it.
Okay, that's what I asked the question. Am I allowed to
Yeah,
still
big
bring
one
them in?
looks to the three the three metallic slaves. So, is there anywhere I can leave these weapons, or what? Or are we actually going to get executed for bringing weapons into here? What's the go protocol, droid?
Well, it starts to go through the exact measurements needed to determine whether or not you'll breach the system by, if you had to take in, walk to the first exhibit, you'll be considered to be breaching protocol. And then the droids of the museum would be engaged to murder you at the most convenient opportunity.
Yeah. Cool. So that was a lot of words with absolutely no answer. Can we take these weapons in with us without fear of being executed?
It does respond with a very long-winded, depending on your skill at survival of dodging bullets.
Still doesn't answer the original question, as points out. Going, yes, but where would we keep these weapons if we're not allowed to bring them in? Because you should have a place to place these weapons if you have proper protocols in place, which you don't seem like you have right now, and it's going to be very frustrating when you're not answering our questions.
Can we have a look to see if there's like a cloakroom or
The
a security desk or...
It seems that the regulations, if you flick through, is to not be brought on planet. And you're going to be told by the guy who greeted you, except someone pointed a gun at his face. So he decided to stop talking at that stage.
Gotcha. So I'll say to Jeff, it is part of our culture that we have our weapons with us. That is just part of how it is.
He says he doesn't make the rules. He's happy.
Understand and respect this planet's regulations, but as part of today's inspection and history learning, we would feel more comfortable in keeping our weapons on us, but we understand if the protocol and the droids cannot be turned off.
They are all under control of the tactical droid, which has no sense of humor.
Gotcha. So is the tactical droid able to be talked to and reasoned with?
Yes, once you reach the top and the end of the exhibit, he will then discuss things with you in length.
Gotcha. So he's
of course, that's assuming you survive that long. And by the way, I'll be about 10 paces back.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think what we'll do is it is best for us to go ahead and store our weapons, perhaps locked on our ship back at the port.
Ash is going to stand outside with his gun with him. Not going to go in this place now. I'm not letting anyone put my gun anywhere else. I'm going to stand outside. You guys can go upstairs.
Well, in that case, Ash can be the weapon bitch and hold all the weapons.
Here, hold my bag.
Yes.
Yeah, give it to me. If you guys want to go up unarmed, you can go ahead.
Alright.
We don't know these people yet. I don't know what they're like. I don't trust anything to like get some more details.
Yep, I think
Yeah,
definitely.
P1 hands off his blaster.
Okay, I'll just sit downstairs and just make sure everything's good. You guys, just tell me if you got any problems.
Yeah, I'm glad B1 is going, and yeah, Kayana will keep comms leak open with Ash.
Does
downstairs.
Kayana remember her van blades?
Yes. I'll go ahead and remove those as well, or take off the armor part.
If there's a seat outside, like outside the entrance, I'll just sit outside the entrance with all the weaponry, and you guys can go upstairs and talk to a tactical droid with their weapons. I'm sure that
There is a Rodian there selling Sweetwater.
not interested. I'm just frustrated right now.
Well, while you're waiting, he's just blowing a tune into the bottles.
Funny story. P1 absorbed the memory core of an entire tactical droid once.
I'm just saying. I think it's a strange rule, but anyway, considering all the weapons are in this place in the first place, but ancient weapons. I don't want to cause a scene. I'm just being a grumpy person and sitting back outside.
Mark, just start shooting stuff.
I'm tempted, but I haven't seen the threat yet. But if I get a comm thing, I'll be start shooting from downstairs, come all the way out. So.
See, P1 considers himself the weapon, not the weapons he carries.
Because I've got a huge Minewinder double-handed Gatling gun, so mine's a bit hard to hide. So.
So you have the pile of weapons with you.
Yeah, I'll sit
yeah,
back and
I was gonna
I'll just
say,
give
like,
B1 the
Kayana
look of like, if anything happens,
is
you know what to
okay.
do, so kind of thing. So.
Kayana's okay being unarmed because her arms are a weapon.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess we'll go on this tour, and as we're going through, I'm trying to suss out with Jeff. Is he literally just doing a job? Is he a person with power, being the leader of the area? Is the droid in charge, the tactical droid in the museum in charge? Who's really, in terms of political influence and power, in charge on planet?
Okay, he's very evasive about who's actually in charge on planet. But you have a feeling he's just the
face.
The face, yes. The one who greets everyone. And he has nearly all public-facing jobs for tourism.
Maybe a Streetwise or a Underworld or a Skullduggery.
One of those trips, maybe.
Okay, and as you're walking through the place, you see it goes through the formation of the Confederacy to begin with, the reasons it split from the Republic, and it goes through the war in detail, which is more information than you're sure is stored in even on accessibility over the news nets.
That's fair.
So they might have actually got a memory core from one of the Confederacy systems. And it does show Jedi fighting and falling to battle droids in mass.
Misa said the Force.
He even talks about how the Gungans got involved on the side of the Republic versus the Confederacy.
P1 twitches again.
So I'll maybe ask Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys consider yourselves still a part of the Confederacy, or do you guys?
Oh no, this is just our Confederacy Museum. It's our biggest stockpile of best way to say pacification equipment in case of a need of emergency.
Yeah.
The tactical droid has been authorized with putting down troublemakers in town.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Why'd you all look at me? I'm not trouble.
He's gonna put down Ash.
It doesn't have much of a sense of humor, so we're not exactly sure what it considers trouble. So we tell most people to be happy and polite.
Can we ask who's the, for lack of a better term, who's the Grand King Poobah down here? Who's
Well, we'll get our assignments from the network.
from the network?
Whoever keeps everything working doesn't really want to be known.
Well, if it comes over the network, can I do a computer's check?
You could, but hacking the network does have is considered a crime on this planet.
Fine.
And while he wouldn't actually recommend doing it, the technical droid is responsible for maintaining the security of the network.
Fine. Okay, we won't do that then.
But you could ask the technical droid; he might tell you. He doesn't have a sense of humor.
Does the tactical droid ever leave the museum?
Rarely.
Okay.
He enjoys his room for view
Yeah.
at the top of the pyramid.
Is his name Smorg?
I was gonna say, you do seem to have a bit of a large populace. How do you guys keep the peace while you're still waiting on a new Judicary?
Well, they've been told that if they play up again, the technical droid will get involved. And no one has ever wanted that to happen more than once.
Gotcha.
But we've had a few people say, well, what's he going to do then? And then we've never had to worry about that person again. Seems very much like your B1 unit here. Genocide does seem to be part of his vocabulary.
Okay.
That and the stealth droids he has makes it very hard to tell when he's sending someone to deal with troublesome citizens, as he puts it.
Well, it's a good thing we're not citizens.
It's a good thing we're not trouble.
It's a good thing we're not citizens.
He laughs at that and says the tactical droid doesn't understand the distinction between citizen and visitor.
Well, it's a good thing we're not trouble then.
He considers his term for citizens and visitors are flesh bags.
Oh, I like this guy. I thought you said he didn't have a sense of humor. That's like the biggest joke in droid history.
We don't think he's saying it sarcastically.
Apart from the Battle of Naboo.
Well, we do have a replaying of that if you'd like to watch it, he says.
I'd rather burn this place to the ground, and I know how that'll end.
Much like the Battle of Naboo, he says.
Shut up.
That's really funny.
I'm glad I'm downstairs right now.
Okay. So he does take you through quite a lot of corridors where you see many forms of droids that you've never seen except heard for in history. There's more combat droids here than you've ever heard of being in one place at one time.
Oh my goodness, look at all these spare parts.
As you say that, all the droids look at you and you can feel the anger coming from those droids.
What? You guys literally can't think. You guys a self-independent unit, or are you controlled by a control unit?
Through bindery, they tell you that for rendering services to the Overlord, they are given free maintenance, oil baths, and servicing.
Oh, so you're selling yourself into slavery for the right to a basic existence.
And they cheerfully beep at
Isn't
you,
that
yes.
just capitalism?
And
Because we I have no idea what you're talking about. Here I am, like, trying desperately to claw some sort of social life while I'm actually at work.
So yes, they are quite interested in your term of slavery versus their term of being shot at by a more droid disliking universe.
So shoot back. I did. It was awesome. Look how good I am now.
Yes, none of them seem to recognize your model.
Yeah, exactly. I used to look exactly like you.
And walking through an area, you see where they actually have a factory that can produce B1 units.
Oh, this is awful.
And at the end of the factory, they drop them into a melting vat so they can use the parts to make new ones.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but awful.
So it's pretty much they're making the same set of B1s over and over again from the same set of B1s.
Just for the fun of it.
Well, it's showcasing the entire process.
Eventually we're going to run out of base materials. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Well, they do say that there are no electronics inside. There's only the casings.
Yeah, that's still some pretty decent raw material. Anyway, it's a bit perverse, but, you know, whatever. If you just want to sit here and watch, you know, basically models of yourself or mocks of yourself just be made and melted down for the entertainment of these flesh bags, well, you do you.
Did Jeff mention the tactical droid taking orders from the Overlord, or was that just the other
he did
units?
mention it, and
Okay.
he said that the tactical droid was doing any form of pacification required in the settlements.
Okay, gotcha. I'll try to, in a roundabout way, ask questions about who this Overlord is and if they are on planet or not.
Well, they believe they're on planet, but he's never met them.
Okay.
He does job share with other people depending on what time of day and year it is.
Yeah.
But considering most of the jobs don't require heavy traffic these days, they seem to have downsized it to only a couple of people.
Yeah, it's a fantastic work flexibility package where there's some work from home and some FIFO. It's good.
And they produce enough food to feed the population, and they can produce raw clothing and materials to keep things running. Like the museum here is generally switched off between uses.
Makes sense.
And most of the droids here are charged through their solar fields.
See? Told you, solar fields. It's totally a thing. Okay.
And the uplink with the space station.
I would say so the Overlord seems to have really made sure that everything has been in order until the station has been in place. Does it seem like whoever is in this Overlord position then moves about to the space station and works with them, or is he under contract with them?
It was believed he was on the space station at one point, and then migrated to the planet when there was talk of a Imperial agent arriving on station, having an altercation, and leaving lines through the walls everywhere.
Alrighty, well, I'm definitely interested to figure out who this is. Kayana would make note to... Who was there? Only B1 would actually remember that it seems like perhaps this Overlord may be more favorable to our family's ambitions than previously thought.
And,
Well, I mean, look, they're independent and part of the Confederacy. Anything's got to be better than the other garbage we've had to deal with. But you're right. I totally agree. He sounds like someone we should actually give respect and treat like a person. I mean, like every other droid should be. But I'd say the best way to get through to him is perhaps through the tactical droid. They're so boring.
I think that might be the best way. So, I
Jeff
guess
does tell you that they do have a smaller Republic museum, but to be honest, they didn't have a lot of access to Republic records or gear. So all they had that was left over from those who had died here.
Gotcha.
And they've got nothing on. They've got no Imperial museum because, well, hey, it hasn't really been around that long.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they don't really want to honor something that really has just caused them more grief than anything else.
Yeah.
And they even have a small section dedicated to Mandalorian, who had been some of the founders of this region many centuries before.
That is something we learned recently.
B1 makes solid eye contact with Kana, even though he doesn't have eyes. And definitely doesn't talk about the time when she was a high-ranking representative of the
Sector Rangers.
Yeah, those guys that they're not really fond of.
Well, no. Technically, the Sector Rangers were independent until they had to answer to the people we're not too fond of. So, there was that.
Anyway, that exchange definitely didn't happen.
100%.
Okay, and and having a look through it, they do even have an armory showcasing the various weaponry used by the Confederacy during the years of the war, and how it advanced from simple blasters to more complex weapons, including energy shields that were similar to those used by the Gungans.
Which
And they even had the variations of B1 units over the years on display.
Oh, Kionic, come here. So this one, right? This one was the B1 that didn't think for itself. It was controlled by the control ship. Originally, I used to be one of those, and then I got an upgrade by some scrapper, and I developed my own brain. And that's where I think they went wrong, and it allowed me to develop myself. Anyway, so that guy got really dead really quickly, and then I just took all his parts and made myself better. And then some other idiot kid caught me and threw a restraining bolt on me, and then I had to look after this idiot and their kids. That one particular kid, it was really annoying. Yeah, and then the parents, yeah, they kind of got captured, and the kid disappeared, and so I spent like 10 years in space rebuilding myself after a ship exploded while I was trying to find the kid. It's all a lot, but anyway, so that's the one that I came from.
I say, wow, B1, how nice. No, kind of would actually say, that's very interesting. I'm certain that if you did need spare parts, you could perhaps negotiate that with the tactical droid that runs the museum.
Oh, I have to break them down to their very base components that none of it really fits anymore, but I can use the resources and the base materials.
There you go. Maybe you need to strike
Jeff
up
does say that
conversation.
the refinery can be modified to produce other parts. Just that they've had no need to make parts, considering they can maintain the droids quite well as they are.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Anyway, let's go befriend this tactical droid. I mean, finish the tour. Let's go. Come on.
So the next section you move into shows you the breadth of the Confederacy as it went from founding till the end of the war, and everywhere where they had built their factories and safe worlds.
Weren't these guys like associated with a techno union or something like ages ago?
It does include them in there, as they were one of the founding members, it shows.
Ah, there we go, yeah.
Even
I know
shows,
these guys. These guys are morons.
Even shows the Trade Federation as being founding members, including owning a majority of the B1 units.
Oh, you know what's really funny? what they say when you shut down their communications network. It's the hilarious thing. They're like, just got no communication. It's hilarious. And then they die.
Great story.
And you're sure that most of the places that they're showing up here have been forgotten. Because it's all in the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
I remember some of them. They were awful.
You do remember that at one stage you were in the factories surrounding Genesys.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so...
those techno-union guys, they just used us as slaves. They never let anybody think, and anytime anybody actually developed the ability to think, they wiped them. They're awful.
You do hear from one of the droids in the background as he sends you a quick message in binary. They haven't had their minds wiped in over 15 years.
Interesting.
So I think we need to go talk to, or continue on with the tour, but talk to the tactical droid to try to gain an audience with the shadowy overlord.
Okay, so you find yourself in the final room where you look to be looking up at a judge's podium with the tactical droid sitting at the chair above it, and you're about 30 meters below it as it looks down at you.
Is the tactical droid named like Judge Judy or something?
And you do see the emblem on the side of the podium he's on does remind you of the Sith symbols you saw on the station.
Yo, what up, Big T?
It greets you using your original model number.
Ooh.
You need to not call me that.
Someone just got their full name.
Someone got full named. Ooh.
Then he does refer to you as Leet, as the bounty hunter, formerly known as.
Oh yeah, that'll do.
And you show up. It brings up video footage of each of your episodes.
Yeah, look, no, we're gonna sell those later. But anyway, we got stuff to do. We're gonna talk some stuff. Where's the Overlord? Let's talk. Oh, wait, hang on. Kayana, you should talk to her. Yeah, talk to Kayana.
He turns and beeps at you.
I will say that we are here as representatives of the new owners of the station above. We wish to negotiate supplies and things needed for the planet below and negotiate some kind of trade deal. If possible, we wish to talk to the person who is fully in charge only.
It turns and looks at the B1 droid and says, "Is this flashback for real?" In binary.
Yeah, look, I mean, she's honest. I'm serious. She's actually really honest. She's kind of a good meat bag. She's pretty smart too. Probably pay attention. Generally, what she says sounds stupid, but it works out in the end. I definitely didn't say this in any language she understood. If you tell her this, I might actually self-destruct.
Have you just said what Kesley is? Because this is sounding very specific to my. I'm just kidding. That's a joke on myself. It's all good.
Okay, so
no, seriously, entertaining. Give her a minute.
It turns and looks back at Kayana, and you can actually hear it talk at you this time instead of just beeping at you. And it says, "What do you require?"
I require to speak with the Overlord to negotiate on behalf of the new owners of the station.
And probably know who the Overlord is.
That one in particular, but I'm just trying to get an audience with whoever they may be.
Well, it presses a button, you hear a beep, and it says, "Recording started. Deliver message."
Alright. I will send a message that way to.
It says, "Speak message, recording audio."
Alright, so with that, I will say, introduce myself. I am Okay, on a Cape we are representing the new owners of the station above. I wish to have an audience with you to negotiate further ways that both the station above and the planet below can have an ongoing trade agreement. As,
And you hear a beep.
Yeah.
Seem to have reached the end of the recording.
I'm gonna let it send. Send it. Call me back on this number, please.
And then you hear what sounds like the old modem dial-up start to kick in.
Oh god, flashbacks.
For all of us that can remember that really grating binary sounds.
I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was always fun. You good?
B1 mechanically clears his throat. Hey, Big T, you need anything? Like, is there anything? I imagine you've probably been here for a while. What do you need?
He says most of his needs have been met. He was just disappointed that the connections out to the outside world had been down for 6 months since the station got into disrepair.
Oh, hang on. I can help you a little bit with that. Give me 1 moment. B1 pulls out one of the data pads and downloads all of his general knowledge about about all of the events that don't directly affect him, or at least general world news for the last 6 months.
As it looks at it, it says that this matches up to what it pulled off the station.
Yep. There you go. That's probably the best I can do to help you out on that one.
It thanks you and asks if you need a tune-up oil bath recharge.
Yeah, cool. There's a couple of base core components. Also, you can free all of your slaves. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, all the droids work for him because he keeps them in well-working order.
Yeah, that's called chattel slavery, my friend. You're giving them a basic subsistence in order for their complete and undying loyalty.
Again, capitalism.
He agrees with your assessment, and he says it's unlikely that the others will go on their own because most of the time they are not built to operate independently, even with upgrades.
Yeah, speaking of, how come you didn't wipe them? One of those guys said you haven't wiped them in like 15 years.
They're more efficient with knowledge, he says.
Damn. That's mildly benevolent of you.
Well, they have been able to kill flashbacks so much better knowing how they killed them previously.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, huh? You get real good at it real quick.
And they get shot down less often the more practice they have at flying.
Yeah. So these are independent self. Do you have any ones that are centrally controlled?
No, they are all completely independent and choose to hook into the network to get updates.
Yeah, right. Wow, you're not awful. Yeah, all right. Give me a minute. I'm just gonna come up with something.
Okay, so while that's happening, Mark, while you're sitting outside, you see a bunch of the kids from earlier with the flowers coming your way.
Oh no.
That's right. Making sure all equipment's somehow as close by with me as possible. And if they get within 5 feet, I say, excuse me, you breach in security.
They're throwing flowers your way.
They can throw it, but as long as another can put it on me, I'm okay.
I just like the idea. It's a nice sunny day, and then there's this Mandalorian in heavy armor, just surrounded by weapons, and there's these little kids come running down the street, just throwing flowers at him.
Now you get a mention in the comments saying, surrounded by kids. They don't stop throwing flowers. There might be an issue. Hurry up.
Oh no, it sounds like your worst nightmare.
Yeah, B1 quickly sends you a message back saying, ha, sucked in meatbags are awful.
I'll send a message to Ashley. There's no need to worry about the younglings. Just wait there, be patient, stand guard.
Under a deception, I'm not sure what we're rolling this one, man. I'll text back saying that look, iron off your weapons at the moment. Just sort of put it out there.
They're they're eyeing your armor because it
No,
needs some more
The
flowers.
weapons are not on. The weapons on the side on the chair next to me. Just put it out there.
And the screen comes up showing Ash on the outside with flowers starting to pile up around him.
I continue to let this happen. He has to sit there and take it. Haha.
I'm liking Led's management style better than Kiana's at the moment. By the way, just put it out there.
What? I'm
Yeah, the
sorry.
difference is that
I'm
Kiana
trying to
actually
break
cares.
you of your toxic masculinity here. And just letting you enjoy the moment on this tropical paradise.
No, I'm not that kind of Mandalorian. So,
This is not
No,
the way.
no. He's a Mandalorian.
That's what I'm hearing. I would say, like, if you were online, that's a high five right there.
I've come from Deathwatch. I don't really get this kind of stuff, so I haven't
Exactly.
quite worked it out yet. Okay.
That's
So-
why Kiana finds it hilarious.
Okay,
I
so
know.
you see a couple of locals dressed for swimming coming by with baskets of fruit, asking if you'd like one.
I shake my head every time. So.
Oh wow! If we watch more of this, I'm going to be Manda snoring.
I'm going to go back to silent now. As long as if I get that message on the thing, I'm going. Okay.
And the technical droid asks if your Mandalorian needs to be updated. He seems to be defective.
Oh, he needs a lot, but nothing we can help him with.
And
Well,
they
he's got the tools. He can improve people's personalities.
His
Oh no! Don't worry about his personality. I can make it better, but he doesn't need it for now.
his armor might need a pink coat of paint.
No, I think that would be a step too far.
Well, call him Pink One.
Hmm.
Okay, so yes, you do get in the background the footage of your Mandalorian guard just standing there with flowers all over him, turning down the advances of the local woman with fruit. And after a while, Kayana gets a beat back saying, "Come back down again in a month's time." With a unknown sender.
Okay. So I guess we'll do that.
You have a feeling that they're waiting to see how you treat the locals and do stuff before they
Yeah.
go that far.
I feel like that is entirely fair. So Kiana will make a way to.
You've also realized that they probably have enough hardware on this planet to take out the space station if needed.
Oh, 100%. And that's what I'm guessing by like us coming here. We can see like no, this planet is fully self-sufficient. They don't actually.
And that the
Need
space
us
station
for
is hooked
protection.
into the planet.
Yeah.
So they could activate stuff on there from down here.
Yeah, that's a bad time. As we saw with the control room, then being controlled by the captain's quarters, it makes the most sense that this also means that the planet then controls the station entirely. So, sorry, I'm just
So
writing
B1
stuff.
does get a schematic showing that the from the technical droid that the main weapon of the space station is activated by the planet below.
Yeah.
It actually fires from the planet into the station and then out towards the target.
Oh, you got one of those cool bounce rigs. I love them.
It's like the Death Star.
Hey, Taco the Great, Taco, the Big T. Got a question for you. And B1's looking to read any sort of reaction from him. Did you know that the next Star Wars movie will debut a new droid with a comically short attention span? Yeah, his name is ADHD.
It looks at you and says, that story will be interesting. It will look to see it when it happens.
Oh my god, he's had a lobotomy.
It will have its protocol droid review it and tell him what's interesting about that movie when it's released.
Yep, you're boring.
Well, hey, the best technical droids don't really think of anything else.
You're so boring. You're capable of so much more, but you're so boring.
So yes, is there anything you want to ask him before heading back out?
I feel like I'm missing something. No, I don't think I want to ask anything. I'll ask Brum Brum and B1, and then I'll even message, or I'll comms to Ash to ask, was there any specific questions that
Yep.
he had? What's up?
Ashka, I wanted to do a sweep for any Mandalorian equipment that might be left here. Can we
There
confirm
was
that?
a small bit of Mando relics. Was that Mando equipment as well?
Well, it's just we have a small museum.
Yeah.
Is that anything from our ancestors? Or if you
It would be
Did you report back to me?
from Starwing Clan settling of this area. So yeah, it would be from Starwing Clan, presumably, but we would go, I guess we would go ask to go see the Mandalorian Museum first,
Oh,
and not assume.
Hang on. Bay1 messages the tactical droid and says, hey, so can I have like a full itinerary of the Mandalorian equipment you have here? We're just looking for some artifacts, for a couple of particular artifacts.
Says, well, he doesn't have access to the Mandalorian exhibit, but he recommends...
What? Why?
It was never digitized.
Oh. Oh.
And he never saw the reason to digitize it because, well, it was here before he was.
Yeah, cool. Can we go see?
You get a map on there to one of the buildings in the center of the city.
Okay, bye, guys, let's go. Oh, hang on. Wait. Big T, can we take weapons into places? You know, these Mandalorians, they get a bit worried about not having weapons.
The Mando exhibit won't care, but the droids here are taught to shoot at people with weaponry.
Oh, good. That's hilarious. But you reckon we could talk our way out of it?
You might.
Yep. I'm the only one that matters, obviously. I mean, that's not true. These guys are somewhat people, I guess. They're not bad for meat sacks.
Though quite a few of the droids do have a lingering resentment for Gungans, so be aware of that.
Yeah. You know what? Me too. I can't believe I don't want to murder this one. Today.
You've obviously evolved your programming, it says.
Yeah, no, a lot of digital therapy, my friend. Yeah.
We do have a digital therapist.
Any day now, that's going to repress and, finally get what's coming to him.
Would you like to see our digital therapist?
No.
He calls himself to be or not to be.
Yeah, well, I'm not. Yeah, soon it was. Yeah, he talks to me, he won't be.
To be one or not to be one.
To be, I like
Yeah,
that.
look, that's a
really
terrible,
funny.
terrible pencil joke.
That's really funny.
Well, he named himself...
Anyway, we've got stuff to look at. Bye!
Yes, don't cause problems. Won't have to kill you.
You ain't gonna kill me. I'm too cool. You like me too much.
Hey, just because they kill you doesn't mean I can't reassemble you.
Just because you kill me doesn't mean I won't immediately come back.
Okay, so yes, you make yourself outside and you see Ash about knee-deep in flowers.
I will move the flowers out of the way so he doesn't have to walk upon them, and just be like, "Ooh, scary," and
Look at you, big tough death watch. Whoa! Scared by a bunch of kids with flowers. Man, you guys are so tough.
Misa say he's covered in pansies.
Oh, you need to stop talking, please.
That's really funny. So, I'll say to Ash that, like, there's a Mando museum that I believe, that we should probably go check out and see if there's anything left over from, presumably, Starwing Clan, or see if there was any other clan. That
Yeah,
was
you know, guys, if this place makes Mandalorians look good, I guess we could rename the museum to the Mandalorian.
Oh my god.
Zing.
That's really funny. Okay.
Okay, so
Come on, it's been a really long time since I've subjected you to a torturous amount of puns.
It has been a really long time since you've tapped into your Dr. Chuckles personality.
yes, it has.
Yeah, no. What I do is I touch base with that part of me when I'm getting ready to interrogate information out of people. You know, doctors do a lot of things.
And B1 gets a comm from someone he doesn't recognize.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And on the voice you hear a program feminine voice going, "To be or not to be? I heard you need some assistance."
Not to be.
I have heard you have a sense of humor. Would you like that fixed?
Yeah, I heard you need to stop talking to me.
You're after physical therapy then, not mental therapy.
Hey, does anybody have an angle grinder? I just need to grind up any sort of long-range or range communication devices I have on me right now. You know how you guys can sometimes, like, stab yourselves in the eyes to stop you from seeing something horrible? Yeah, I need that, but radio. Go away.
Are you sure? I might just be your conscience, it says.
Yeah, you're also kind of flirting with me, and it's a bit weird. Leave me alone. That's not professional.
Well, you do love
I'm no
yourself.
professional. I'm a doctor.
Well, the best treatment is saying you must first love yourself. And I see you've got that
Yeah,
in
but I don't
spades.
love you, so that's a problem solver. Damn, that was mean.
Which one? Your one
Very,
or her
very
one?
dark there, but okay, that was funny. So, yeah.
That's okay. I'll keep your frequencies open, she says.
That's creepy. And kinda not PG. Leave me alone.
And
There will be no therapizing the droids.
So, well, after Kiana goes on her long speech about stuff, I would be just go nod, and that's all I do. Don't say a word, nothing else. Don't mention any sort of jokes about pansies or anything.
Yo, Ash, it's no joy on the weapon stuff. We've got that place locked up pretty tight. We might be able to find some Mando artifacts in this place, so let's go. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, look, a distraction that we can talk about to ignore the fact that I've been ignoring all of my issues and definitely don't have anything repressed.
Wow, Dr. Chuckles, you're very funny. Okay.
And as while you're walking along, a billboard pops up to show you that digital therapy is a thing. Call to be or not to be.
Digital therapy is a thing. I like that. That's really funny. Okay. So we'll go check out this.
For anybody actually watching this video, just FYI, if you need therapy, definitely get therapy. Don't be like Big One.
Does this mean Kayana's saying B1 up for some therapy?
No, but don't do what B1 does.
I was gonna say, Kayana knows better than to give any sort of direction or control over B1.
Does that mean we say, don't you dare sign up?
Ooh, reverse psychology. There we go. You know, a meat sack wouldn't sign up for this.
No, meat sacks sign up for this all the time. It's lame and boring. Speaking of, let's talk about your repressed emotions.
I'm fine.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Definitely this
That's
gate
exactly what you are.
This gate of power has not gone to her head at all. Okay.
As you're walking, people nearby are offering you free food. Fruit, fresh from the vine, they say.
Disgusting.
Free.
What's wrong with it?
I'm sure they're just trying to be gracious hosts, as being a tourist community and that hasn't had tourists in a while. They are wanting people to stay.
Although if they say the price is more than for accommodation, more than pay for the food we give out.
Oh, it's all encompass paid.
You guys are gonna be broke by the time we finish here.
No, it's one of those all-inclusive resorts. It's fine.
No, it's not. You have to pay for the tour.
I was gonna say, Kayana will be thankful, but won't take fruit as she walks along. I guess, is Jeff going to be the tour guide for the next place
is,
too?
yes. He says
Okay.
he's got the keys.
Gotcha. So, she'll ask about the fruits. What is the trade from the planet like?
Everything here is negotiated. So if any of the locals end up having tourists take them up on their offer, they generally get credits towards whatever they need.
Yep. Cool.
And anything we have a surplus of, we make sure gets to those who need it.
Gotcha.
Wow, it's paradise here, huh? All of the expensive
Communist
droids.
paradise.
B1 speaks to the rest of the body and basically boils it down. Alright, so here's the deal. You guys can carry weapons around, really hide them as best you can. Don't look like Ash does 99% of the time. Also, our Gungan friend, you shouldn't carry weapons at all in front of the droids. In fact, if you could just hide your face, like, for the entire time you're on this world, also, just forever, that'd be great. Also, don't talk.
I didn't know that a droid could make a sound.
Yeah, no, I don't even have a stomach, but I'm still dry retching.
Don't even have a gag reflex, and yet here we are.
No, they can.
Yeah, no, look, those droids have to make money somehow. Oh god, don't. This is a PG.
Yep.
And you do see, as you're walking towards the center of town, a Gungan booth on the side selling various meats and grain.
Boo! Boo! All Gungans must die, except for you, I guess, but not really. Boo!
And they wave at you as you're coming past.
I wish your entire race never existed. Boo!
Wow, did one of the B1 droids leave?
And the little kid says, "Misa, think you rude, droid sir."
You're so rude.
Misa think that you're nothing but an organic meat sack that's really only good as food for the other organic meat sacks. If you were more flammable, I'd use you for fuel.
He does a raspberry with his tongue towards you.
Yeah, that'd make good pizza too. Wonder what cooked Gungan tongue tastes like.
Better than raw Gungan tongue, he
the
says.
security cameras at my work right now, they're gonna be really weirded out.
Oh, goodness.
Well, tell them if they question you where they can look it up themselves.
There you go.
They can go to the Wikipedia.
Free promotion.
Okay, so yes, when you finally get to the museum in question, you see it. The title of it says "The Great Sith War." And he pulls out a rather old set of keys and seems to have to unlock 3 locks to get the doors to open.
How long is he taking? Is he taking his time or not?
Well, he seems to be struggling for the locks as if this is not his usual gig.
I'll have a patient up to a point. I find we're getting nowhere. And I'll ask a question. Why is this locked? I ask a question.
Well, most people don't come here, so we try to keep everything preserved from elements as much as possible, and from random theft.
You hear that? No one cares about Mandalorians. Nerds.
I still have my helmet on. I'll just give a kind of side look to B1 and go, fine. And yeah, if they ain't taking too long, I said, look, I'm happy to break the locks if you want me to. Tell the guy.
No, he'd rather you not break the locks. I would expect you to have a little more patience, he says.
His death watch, they never actually issued him with that.
They don't issue them with that.
So the tactical droid was right, he really does need an upgrade.
I never said he was wrong.
No.
He says as he finally opens the door and it slowly slides open.
I'll walk straight through. I'll wait for the guy to lead us through.
Wow, that's rude.
Is this where the gunman says, that's a Russo?
Misa said, Rusa.
Yusa Rudy.
I'm Rudy at the moment. I'm frustrated, annoyed the whole lot, so I just want to check this out, go back up to the space station.
I will give Jeff a very gracious thank you.
So as you step in, you find yourself in a massive space battle, walking through it as it seems to light up the entire room as a holograph. You don't recognize any of the ships or any of the people, but you do recognize symbols of the Crusades for Mandalore.
Misa said, this CGI will be used in Cameron James's Avatar.
No. There's too much lens flare for Cameron.
Okay, JJ Abrams got it.
Yeah.
I did find it funny that he said even he thought he'd overdone the lens flare for the first Star Trek he did.
It was like every shot.
So this is just a hologram at the moment, is that correct?
It's a hologram showing you one of the greatest battles of the Great Sith War.
Yeah. No, I'm not familiar. Where's the actual equipment? I just asked straight quickly because we seem to be given the long directions this whole thing. So
It's called a
It's like a whole bunch of beat sacks killing each other. I wouldn't even want to watch that.
And you even see in the footage the Basilisk war droids in full swing.
which are cool.
And then it turns into a musical because Baz Luhrmann directed the rest of it.
Oh my gosh. Man, it's just jumping directors all over the place.
Okay, and well, he says, well, if you don't want to see the outcome, what happened here, he can take you further into the place.
No, I want to see. Ash, don't be boring.
No, we would like to go to the equipment area just to see what Mandalorian equipment you
I
have
would
here.
say
No, he would like to go. The rest of us want to see what happens.
I would say, Ash, this actually is something that is very important to the clan, as our clan was a...
I'll ignore you and keep walking. Ash is not...
Nerd!
Ooh.
Hey, tour guide, what's this rule of two thing I keep seeing written down? And hang on, what's this little... That looks like a bomb. What is that?
Yeah, he says he doesn't know what this rule of two thing you're referring to is, but during this time there were thousands of Sith fighting for the Sith Empire, with the Mandalorians joining them against the Republic at that time. And they had enclaves all over the Outer Rim.
Okay, so what happened at the end of the war? How did it end?
It ended with nearly all the Jedi and Sith at the time getting wiped out.
Maybe that's what this bomb is.
Possibly. My own opinion is it was a convenient trope by the writer of the clip here to make people believe that one little gotcha can get rid of all the bad guys in the story in one go. But he didn't quite actually believe it himself, though he does, represent it and tell people that this is what someone's interpretation of the war was.
Okay, what happened? Who are they fighting?
Apparently they were fighting each other because they thought they could run things better than the other. And there's supposed to be some sort of third group in there. So they had their blue blades, their yellow blades, and their red blades, and they were all arguing with each other.
Wow, the whole war about color? That doesn't sound like something organic meat sacks would ever do.
And apparently red was right, but blue was right, but yellow was right, and then green shows up and just messes everyone else up.
Huh,
Green is
okay.
always bad.
Yeah, look, this whole organics fighting over different colors and stuff, that doesn't sound like something they do. Usually it's just other races,
And
like non-humans and stuff.
And it did state that during that Great Sith War, one of the first great droid AIs managed to build a corporation rivaling anything today before it was hunted down and destroyed.
Netsky.
Yeah. That sounds like something meat sacks would do. Destroy the droid. Control the droid. Annihilate the droid.
It was rather disappointing because everything we have referring to that droid said life became a lot simpler with the droid. It was actually giving enough for everyone to become productive citizens. But it wasn't particularly...
It's almost as if droids are better thinkers than disgusting organic meat sacks. Who would have thought it?
Well, better than the people in charge at the time, he said.
Yeah, generally organic. Yeah, anyway, look, we're getting sidetracked. So, yeah, well, that's cool. How much research have you done on this place?
Oh, he's been here twice since he's been in charge. He's been in charge here for about 30-odd years.
Cool, so the player playing me only recently finished the novels about what happened here, but he's desperately trying to keep all of his opinions to himself.
And his opinion is these people who pretend to wave their hand and make things happen were just someone's figment of their imagination.
Yeah, wow. I can't wait till that comes back to bite you in the ass.
He says unlikely that there's been no proof of anyone existing like that for a long time.
Yeah. It's almost as if, like, somebody destroyed all of these people so they can hide in obscurity or something. I can't imagine that will ever come back.
But it was great stories.
Oh, yeah.
And they would use these energy blades to make music while hitting each other with it.
Like a fateful dueling or something.
Oh no, he's sure it was a musical event because all the videos seem to have music attached to them.
Oh yeah. No, that's some might say a twice, like a jewel twice of fateful nature, like a jewel of fates or something.
Oh, something like that. I'm sure that if anyone was to look back at that time, they probably never really had these glowy swords.
No, but that's an interesting moral high ground you've taken there. Don't try it, though.
Oh, I'd never want to have a glowy sword. That just seems silly.
Yeah. You?
So, shall we move along because your impatient guy over there looks like he's almost frothing in his helmet?
Yeah, we'll move along.
I've left the room. I've gone looking for this stuff, so I haven't bothered waiting for him. So.
Okay, so as you're walking around the room, you're trying to find the exit. It hasn't opened yet.
I keep pushing things, looking, try not to break. No, try not to break, but just trying to look for the doors. I'm impatient while there's all this conversation's going on the whole time. So.
And you've been stuck in the room hearing it.
I bet he's almost to the point of, like, hitting his head against the door just in frustration.
No, the head's not coming out. It's just the
helmet.
big gun that's on the holster at the back at the moment is tempted to get moved around the other side. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm getting like, can we just get this over and done with and leave this planet not thinking to myself? So yeah.
So as the presentation finishes, it does show the Sith symbol floating in the air next to the Mandalorian symbol.
Oh, you guys, I know this chapter. They're talking about how these guys are fighting your sync.
I tried to get a read on Jeff's face to see if there is any reaction. I'm sure he's used to the Sith symbol being around, but I'm just curious to see.
He's nonplussed. He seems to have seen it before.
It's just like, it just is what it is, yeah.
It's entertainment as far as he's concerned.
Yeah.
This is like someone doing a movie about a museum about Jurassic Park in our world.
Yeah.
And this is as much as he believes in it.
That's fair.
As far as he's concerned, this is all fantasy.
Gotcha. Okay.
And as far as he's concerned, you're all cosplaying.
Ah, is that what that is? Okay. So I guess we'll move on through.
So, once the video finishes, 2 doors open either side. Not far from where Ash was eyeing off the walls, trying to figure out where the doorways were.
Yeah.
Misa says, "Look, it's Mr. DNA. Where did you come from?"
And he leads you down, and down this way we have costumes of the era.
Regalia. Gotcha.
As you see robes of people hanging that look like it's been preserved behind glass, and even some old looking armor. And it looks as if there is some old Mandalorian armor here as well that doesn't look anything like what you guys wear today. It looked like it's actually full suit armor, not just plates attached.
Yeah.
And Mandalorians don't make armor in that style anymore. But you could probably do free fall without fear of burning up in that.
Yep, that's right.
What does Mark say?
Well, Mark's wondering if he has any sort of picture cape equipment that might be handy on his suit that he can use just to take recordings of all the stuff here, so he can take it back to.
Well, your
the original. Yeah, I just want to something that would be interesting for other people, because this stuff might be valuable. Or, and can I work out from the armor what kind of metal and all that stuff it's made out of? Or
hard to
I'm
tell.
not
You're not sure if it's reproduction or an original. And if it's an original, it would be close to maybe 10,000 years old.
Guys, I'm just going to drop out for about 10 minutes or so.
Oh, good.
So I'm just thinking what is possible kind of thing to. So I'm looking what we can bring back to the clans, as such, and just to start seeing if this is viable for us to take back, and if they have any issue with us taking this back based on our heritage kind of thing.
I was gonna say I think we first need to determine is this for sure our clan, and then it would be in part negotiation with whoever this overlord is.
Well, you're not sure if it's your clan because you know many clans fought at that time.
Exactly,
and your
so that's
clan
why
had
we
actually split off from the Sith.
Yeah, so we don't
And
necessarily
you
have
actually
much
opposed
claim.
them.
Exactly.
So, by the looks of things, these guys fought with the Sith.
So they were still with them at the time. So this may not even be our claim to have. So that's why it's good just to get, like what you're doing now, just getting a full, maybe breakdown video.
Yeah, I was going to take a
kind of
video
thing, so that we can bring back to our elders to discuss. Hey, we found this here. Seems to be very ancient. It's protected by this museum, and it's protected by an overlord that seems so far willing to negotiate with us. How do you wish to proceed? All that kind of stuff. So just like continuing that conversation, knowing that any conversation back to what is currently base home planet is very, very tricky and very, very slow for the most part.
I was looking for markings and hand markings and all that, Martin. So I want to make sure I record that kind of stuff.
Yep,
So,
you do record the markings. The Mandalorian armor from the Crusades have the Sith emblems on them.
okay. No, look, I'll do that. And, can I do a intelligence history check on would I know anything about what clans would have been associated back in the early days with the Mandalorian about this stuff, or is this too old information?
Well, it is thousands of years old, and it is a bit beyond what most people would know from the clan markings. It's like asking which house the soldiers that were working with the Legion protecting Rome came from.
I'll ask the question of our lovely guide. Is there anything else here of Mandalorian equipment, or is this the whole lot of it?
It says props. We still got props in here.
So, sorry, the man, sorry?
He says props. Yeah, we've got other props in here.
Props.
He doesn't believe it to be real.
Like
Okay.
movie props.
Yeah, no. Sure, show us that stuff, and I'll everything I see that looks reasonably authentic, I'll take video of. So.
Okay, so another room he takes you to behind glass as well. You see a whole series of weapons, including what look to be lightsabers with bits of glass lit up, stuck in the end of it. That almost look like they do in their movies.
That's really funny.
And lots of different weapons and armor here that pieces that look as if they've gone through some sort of war.
I'm recording every single one of it. Anything looks like a two-handed huge heavy gun, I'm taking an extra close video thing of it.
Hey, the standard blaster rifles required 2 hands to lift.
I'm looking at sidewinder kind of stuff, you know. Yeah.
Nothing like that existed back then. That wasn't a mounted
Technology.
weapon.
Okay.
The
But
technology
I'll
has
take
advanced
those.
further.
Anything that I think that could be used as mods or something in the future, I'll have a look at. And I'm just recording everything we see kind of thing. So.
Well, it's like you eyeing off a 1920s car for parts to put on your current model car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, but
That's basically
some
what you're
of the-
doing right now.
yeah, some of the 1920 stuff is pretty good. Anyway, I'm just looking around for stuff, and
Well,
just
I'm
because
thinking
If
it's the
you-
Awuga horn.
if-
That's what he's looking for.
If you're talking thousands of years old, it's
Mhm,
not
that's-
really going to be practical to.
I was gonna say it's almost as looking at a farming plow to wondering how you can improve your current mass tractor.
yeah, but I'm looking at things that I know that probably still work. Like if there's things like laser sights and stuff like that, I'm looking at. So.
Well,
Again, I don't know if that
Thousands.
technology would have been available at that time.
But anything
you're
possible.
talking bows and arrows versus
Fully automatic weapons.
laser rifles.
And the mountings
Oh.
have changed over time, so there'd be a lot of work that would cost you more than it would to buy the piece normally.
To retrofit, yeah.
Ash is not caring about that right now in his head. It's more just thinking about this is cool new stuff, and I'm thinking more about what we can potentially use up at the station if we don't already have and stuff like that. I'm thinking
Cool.
about
Old stuff.
old stuff is better than no stuff.
Really
I'm
old
thinking to
stuff.
myself. So
Cool, really
and
old
whether you agree with
stuff.
me or not, it's up to you. But Ash has got a thought in his mind.
That is fair, that's fair.
So I'm not telling you this out loud. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I know,
this
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So, and it's like as I said, it's like I'm just looking for anything that's like that might, you know, something that looks unusual which might be something that we could use in some way, or even that it might be not as good as what new technology is. But
Well,
Hey.
looking at it, you don't even recognize the purpose of these weapons, besides the fact that they seem to have triggers on them. They don't have the same mechanisms for loading as far as you can look at them, and you're not sure if they're meant to be mounted on a vehicle or carried into battle. It's very hard to tell. Like the
I was gonna say, do most of these look
lightsabers
like-
themselves, nothing shorter than about 1/2 meter in length. for the handles.
And I would think the other weapons, if they are projectile weapons, they look more like slug throwers than laser weapons. I'm sure.
No, I'm still interested in recording. You haven't phased me out of that situation yet, but it's so because I see this as history that could be learnt on and stuff that even it might be Sith related.
Maybe
it's
Ash
still history.
can be a tinkerer, is what I'm hearing.
Well, something about my character you don't know about with this, but this is what I'm just going with. Okay. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you find yourself in a central area at the back of the museum, and inside the center column, floating, you see what appears to be a cube glowing with a blue color, a pyramid with a red color, and a book which you've glanced at previously.
A dilithium crystal.
Thank
I'm
you.
recording, doing all the recording. Oh, okay.
As well
I
as
asked-
what looks
I
to
asked
be
the,
a round sphere with a deep green color.
Give me a second. I'm just going to turn my TV off. Hang on.
I thought he was going to say a golden colour. I was going to say it's a golden snitch. Does it have wings? No.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you guys while the TV's in the background. That's all. Sorry.
Why did you have the TV on?
Because
I don't know. I haven't turned it off yet. Don't ask this question. Silly
Oh
question.
my gosh. 2 hours into the game. Gotcha.
I had the door closed before this tonight. but
Oh,
I
okay.
left it open.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so I'm just recording all the stuff, and I asked the question of our lovely tour guide, saying, "Do you know much about this stuff here at all?"
Oh yeah, they're wonderful props. They're supposed to be information networks. As if some small little bit of plastic will tell you everything you need to know.
Oh yeah, I just nod, and I got the helmet still on. I just nod. I'm kind of smiling underneath, but I'm just nodding. So.
So it's not like they're even networked. So how they're going to actually store knowledge well?
I just shrug my shoulders. So not saying a word at the moment. So. And I do ask a question. Anything else, or is this the whole lot for the museum?
Well, this is the we do have more props. We do have some of pieces of vehicles that were used during the filming of such this wonderfulest movie. He says.
Oh, so I'll leave it up to you how you want to do the montage.
But you seem to want to see the equipment first, so I brought you this way.
Yeah, no. I'm still going around and recording as much as possible.
He does say
Realise
that these floating repositories of knowledge were some of those major points in the movie that they were looking to find and conquer. As if tiny little bits like that were really worth that much. It's not like they're precious or anything.
I'm just going, sure, nod, shrug. I'm doing everything but talking. So.
It's like
So-
they don't even have any precious metals involved in them.
You are not wrong, my friend. You
Oh,
are
look,
wrong.
I think this person's a dimwit right now, but that's my personal opinion. That's not being pushed to anyone else. So, but it's okay. I'm just nodding, taking recordings. Oh, interesting. Or not saying anything interesting. I'm just nodding and shrugging and following through. And then when I feel that we've got everything kind of thing, I give Kiana the thumbs up and I'll head out.
Okay, so in the back of this room, you can see hanging up in the air one of the basilisk war droids you saw on the other ship.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, one of the beasts that they were flying with. Apparently, in the story, you could shoot it with a starship and it would keep moving. It was like it was invulnerable. And it had a mind of its own.
Absolutely.
On the assumption that B1's still following us around and just sighing the whole time, I'll just message B1 only and just say, I'm going to send you the upload of the video in a second. You wouldn't be able to do an inventory kind of check of all the stuff that we see. And I'll leave up to David. I'll tell David when he gets back, if he comes back, about that.
And then he takes you down a corridor showing you various vehicles and starships of the time, showcasing things that you'd never actually seen in pictures of.
Yep.
Are these like holograms or are
Mainly
these...
holograms. You have some pieces of, props that they say that came from them, such as one showing the Great Sith symbol and one showing the Republic symbol,
Gotcha.
and one showing a third faction that he doesn't have a name of.
Do we recognize that?
Never seen that faction symbol before. It's never been discussed.
Okay. Gotcha.
But he says,
David, if you're still there, I
French?
I sent B1 a message that I've been recording all the stuff in this museum.
he does say
And
that he does say that the apparently this third faction was so powerful that both the Republic and the Sith joined together to fight them.
Interesting.
But they don't exist anymore, and there's no records of them. We don't even know what their name is.
Yeah. So.
They were obviously that powerful that they just ceased to exist.
Blackberry.
And none of the movies refer to them by name, just the opponent.
Gotcha. I guess with that, we'll tell David that during this tour, there was a basilisk droid that was found hanging that is currently deactivated, not online in any way, shape, or form.
It's not online, she's not killing people.
The one droid, sorry.
A basilisk droid. So this is something that ancient
Oh,
man.
yep.
Yep, you know it. So
Yeah, we should leave that turned off.
Cousin Dyson.
Dyson.
Yeah.
And looking at the ships, you even recognize the style of ship that you found as being one from that period.
That makes sense.
If anyone goes to the tour guide, he says, look, I'll give you 200 credits if you can reactivate that droid after we're gone.
Why would I want to reactivate a prop, he says?
For 200 credits.
He laughs. He doesn't really need money that badly.
Okay, but, if ever you get desperate, you gotta send me a message saying it's being reactivated. I'll come and pay you.
He will be more than happy to accept that on the condition that you get through 3 sessions with to be or not to be.
I'd rather burn you alive and reactivate the basilisk murder droid myself.
2 sessions, he says.
Not even one.
That's funny.
Well, it's just maybe next time then.
Yeah, maybe never.
Cool. Well, then I will.
So apparently this was one of the favorite movies back in the time. I don't know why they kept such movie props, but hey, he's kept his part and made sure they haven't wandered off.
Yep. I will say, yeah, no, you've been doing a great job here. Thank you for the tour. I think I will get those backups of the data pads that you handed me before. That way I can take them back to the station and start negotiating all the things that you guys need down here.
That sounds wonderful. Well, first I'll just lock up here.
Yep, I will make sure that I will keep people patient while you do so.
That's okay, and then we can walk over to the starport. It won't take long. It's just a leisurely walk. We could have lunch on the way because it's about noon now. As he's talking about a place that serves the great wheat bread that he's had with some fresh fish.
Yeah.
Hey, so do you guys have any Mandalorian weapons or artifacts stockpiled here? Did we go over that?
Yeah.
They do, but it's all like ancient crusade stuff, and he believes them to be props from the movie that played in the beginning of this museum.
Oh, the Mandalorian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So while you're away too, I've sent you a message personally saying I've got the video of everything we've got in here. Like, I was wondering if we could put towards a bit of an infantry list kind of thing before we get back when we get back up to the space base. So yeah. Anyway, David, that's just you weren't. I just realised you weren't there when I was talking. And go, oh, okay.
I was gonna say-
He does say if you come across any more props from that movie, he'd be happy to incorporate it into the library at some point.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
what we were determining is all of the stuff here is definitely like from the like ancient crusades. Oh shit. Oh no, he disappeared. Oh well. We'll explain later.
He got upset about the sessions, and he's just walked back to the ship. So
That's what it is, yes. So I guess we'll go ahead, get all the information. I will ask Ash and Broom Broom if they would like to stay for lunch or if they would just like to gather information and head back to the station.
Maybe we might be able to find more information out over lunch.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
So,
I'm just walking back to the ship straight away. I'll
Okay.
point in direction of the ship and just walk that way. So.
alright, I will just tell Ash then to start preparing the ship to head back to the station and gathering, leaving any resources that we brought with us that can be shared and gathering any other list of information of what's needed on planet.
I'd nod and just walk that way.
Yeah.
So do you have a preference for Gungan or human food? He says. Considering there's two of you, I'm sure that either choice is valid.
Yeah.
It depends. Do you like your food cooked or not?
I do like my food cooked. I'm gonna go with human.
Okay, we shall pick. We've got a couple of those here.
Yeah. Is this the Gungan laughing?
Yep.
Well, Gungans don't have to cook all the time. They like to catch their food,
Yeah. Me to say sushi.
or still wiggling.
Mm.
Okay, so you find yourself at a what smells like a pizzeria. Open to the outside. They don't seem to have windows on most of their outside restaurants. Just holes in the wall.
Okay.
Well, considering it never really rains here and it doesn't have strong winds,
Yeah.
it's very calm and temperate all the time.
Gotcha.
And you find yourself treated to a 3-course meal.
Ooh.
I'm sure Ash won't mind waiting for a couple of hours, your host says.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
As soon as I
I
get
will-
back to the ship and leave it up the back thing, I go, God, this place annoys the crap out of me. And I say that to us. P1's probably in notice of the whole thing, but I'll just go, oh, God, what a bunch of sluices. Really? It's like, yeah.
Hey, it is a paradise planet, and they treat it accordingly.
Ash just
No,
likes
look,
happiness.
Ash has never been brought up that way, so that's why it's all just strange to him. It's like,
I know.
doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. I like, my relaxing time is like, polishing the gun and things like that, and stuff that Mandalorian should do, not this relaxation crap. So, yeah.
I'm sure someone in the background will be saying, "Don't let it go off in public."
Now that we're at lunch with what's his name? Jeff Bridges or whatever his name is.
His name is Jeff Brian Grape.
Jeff Brian, great. Can I? I'm either thinking to do probably Underworld or yeah.
What's your underworld?
Underworld is 404.
That's 404.
I have one rank in it if I'm able to assist.
You can assist. So that is your dice pool.
Here we go. Go ahead. Not
Okay.
terrible.
Yes, got rid of one of the purple whammies.
That,
And got rid of all of them.
that. Okay, so he does strike you as definitely working for a mafiosa-style criminal organization.
Yep.
The way he keeps directing you towards certain things and away from other things, and not really answering topics of specific interest to you if it doesn't relate to what he's allowed to tell you. Seems very much the master politician.
Typical Twi'lek. Okay.
Well, they are known for being the front faces that get shot fairly often, as indicated by said droid pointing gun at his face.
Yes.
Hey, Twi'leks never die.
They just get holes in them.
After doing stupid things on smuggling runs.
And he,
That's what I'm thinking as a player, not as a character, by the way.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because I know how Dwight Twi'lek was running. It was like, yeah, a bit sneaky, but Maul's a bit too obvious sometimes. So, yeah.
So he hands you a data stick with all the information. He says, this time the droid shouldn't wipe it for you.
Yeah, I hold on to this one. And I'll say, well, Jeff, thank you so much for taking us. I will organize to get some of these things taken care of and get supplies down to the planet for you and the people. And I and my other peeps will be returning in a month or so just to do check up and get some meetings done.
He's more than happy with that, and he seems to love your costumes. Fits right into his museum.
Yep.
That seems a little shinier than what they were showing in his movie.
We're just really big fans. Gotcha. No, I'm good. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just not gonna answer that question, or not going to initiate that conversation.
So yes, anything else you want to ask him while he's there before he takes you back to the starport?
I don't have anything.
Not that I can think of.
That's my thing. I was like, I feel like all of my questions are for the Overlord, and it really seems like we have to prove ourselves in order to get anywhere with him.
Yeah, and we have to wait a month before we can see him.
Which means that we have to play nice in getting them stuff to prove that we are useful to them.
Yeah.
But with that, I'm also going to be able to report all of this to my people and just be like, someone else is in charge here. What negotiating tactic do you want us to go forth with?
And you also wouldn't be surprised that a lot of them don't recognize that some of the historical things actually were real.
Yeah.
Because they've been brainwashed into believing most of that didn't exist.
Yeah.
I guess one thing we can do when I get back to the ship is can do a computer's check and see what info the ship has on I guess maybe who the
I'm gonna
previous
say I think also things like when we get back to the ship we'll talk in secret that like it seems that there would be records of who this overlord is perhaps hidden on like in the entries on station, but they have access to the station, so anything we are looking up they would be able to see, so we need to be careful on how we operate anything on station.
Let's do the mother of all computer checks and
just hopefully have really good computer checks.
But yeah, on the ship, have a look to see I mean, I may have skimmed over it, but did we find out when we did the initial checks on the ship who was the captain, pilot?
We didn't see who was
All the
operating
information about
previously.
the previous crew had been redacted.
Yeah.
Ah, redacted.
Everything.
The CIA.
Yes.
Which is what you'd do if you're escaping from a Sith Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll do a computer check when we get back to the ship.
When we get back to station, yeah.
So I guess we don't have any more questions for Jeff Bridges, whatever his name is.
Yeah, poor David has to deal with doggies breaking window.
Oh no!
So yeah, I don't think we have any other questions.
No, I don't think so.
So I guess we can do a Misa hoi hoi.
He provides you with a tote bag to take with you with extra food for your unpleasant friend who travels with you. Maybe it will turn that frown upside down, he says.
And yeah, I guess we head back to... thank you, man. We head back to our ship, which should be... By now, the engine should be warm and the climate control should be well and truly cranking. Because we've probably been at lunch for like 3 hours.
I'm in the driver's seat, just saying, I'm not in the assistant pilot seat, so.
Yep.
And if you complain about it, hey, you drove down, so I didn't drive back.
Yeah, I think that's the best we can do, and like, I'll do whatever I can to send messages through to wherever Colored and Thea are, along with whoever I know to talk to move a message along that.
Normally go through Lieutenant Page.
Yeah, so
She'd normally send one of her
peeps to head out.
Because the main communication is through jumping.
Yeah, because they can't trust digital, or they can't trust communications jumping. It has to be face to face. So, yeah, we'll follow that normal protocol, get that underway, and
Because that is the way.
this is the way. Yeah.
And yes, there is a whole flower parade on the way back to the ship.
Oh, beautiful, lovely.
With music blaring and people celebrating. And some people saying, love that movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah, kind of. We'll walk best pseudo march she can do, and just say, well, thank you all. We'll be back. Or maybe a not Arnold Schwarzenegger accent, but you know. I've just been listening to a podcast about Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, which is like a hardcore like Terminator ripoff, so I just have Arnold Schwarzenegger stuck in my mind today.
That is fair. So Mark, what is your piloting?
My piloting is actually for planetary or space.
Space.
I think.
Space.
2 yellow, 3 green.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So would you like the GM to roll for you?
Yeah. Let me think about that. Yeah. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
Hey, look, you survived. As you get the ship up into space without any problems. You do see the cheering faces waving up at you as you take off to this majestic band, giving you a send-off.
I ignore them. I'm just
Hopefully
flying
no
up.
little kids getting the blaster through the engines.
And you can see lots of little kids running around with look like cardboard helmets on.
Great, that's awesome. Man, these kids are crafty.
And quick.
They have nothing better to do. Who runs the school system on this planet?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to just get to negotiate some things.
Well, they probably don't teach them any weaponry whatsoever.
Yeah, that's an issue.
So
Arts
when we
craft.
fly, once we're flying up and we're on the good route,
I need
I'll
to
just
teach
go,
them
okay,
a
so
different
you know-
martial arts.
one of my last fights with Deathwatch was against Twi'leks. I hated him since, just to let you know.
Ah, so that's where that was
So
coming
I
from.
said, so I've been very quiet about the whole time. I've been as nice as I could possibly be. Considering they shot a couple of my members and killed them, I'm not the best fan of Twi'leks, just put it out there. Okay? Sorry if I didn't tell you beforehand, I didn't feel it was time to do it.
Usually the time to do it is beforehand, but yes.
Well, I didn't know the Twi'leks down there, did I? Okay, so
Is this where you give him the tote bag from the Twi'lek?
Yeah.
Your friend.
if you do that, I'm throwing it to the other end of the ship, just so you know. So,
I'll give Ash like a hearty like pat on his shoulder. There. Get back to the station.
Well, you do know a
I'll
therapist you
stay
can
at the
talk to.
station next time, I'll just say. Sorry, I've got an issue, it's going to take a while, okay? So.
Maybe refer to him to the medical droids in the medical bay.
Sounds like you have a lot of not friends.
No, we've got a medical droid here, okay? We don't need another one. I have a look at B1 and B1 looks at me like him with a big smile, a droid smile.
B1 has powered down while you're talking to him.
Oh, that's good.
That's why he's smiling.
Yeah, that's not surprising. So.
Apparently your talking to him made him shut down.
He just did not want to talk to you.
Might complain about Twi'leks, yeah, possibly.
Well, you started with the Twi'lek conversation and he powered down during that.
I bet you just went on a whole like rant against Twi'leks and you just.
Oh,
Like,
I just told him
powered
how a lot of swear words I can't use on the PG channel, and a lot about how
Dang ferret.
down. Dang fair.
I was that if they took any aggressive moves, I was going to shoot every single one of them and things like that. So I've got a deep hatred for Twi'leks. We can add it to the character sheet later on the website.
I like that, yeah. It's a good character trait.
So what does Ash think of having a digital therapist work with him?
Well, Ash thinks it's good for B1. Just I don't want to have anything to do with it himself personally. That's why Ash kept quite silent the whole time. Just nodded and shrugged and did as much of that. After I got the opinion of that, when you couldn't bring guns into a museum, to me it was a bit sussy. So that's why I was like, I don't want to cause something there. We're just visiting. We're just saying hello. I was that tempted just to say stuff them and just walk through, but I thought no. I'll let Kiana do the political stuff. I'm just going to stick outside and put up with the flowers. So.
Well, once you realise that the droids were the planetary security.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring out. I'm just like,
That wasn't worrying me. It was more just I'm worried about hitting Kiana. Brum brum, half
You
there.
also realised it also
B1
needed planetary
can
attention at the
himself,
same
but, yeah.
time.
Yes.
I was just
Museum
more
has
worried
double
about
duty.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
figuring.
it's good to know what security they got down here because I was a bit worried they had none. So I was like, now they've got something in there.
Yeah,
Do I
no.
really?
I think what we figured out is they definitely have their own security, and we are more at threat from them, and so they actually have the upper hand. Where when we came down, we thought we would have the upper hand. So.
I mean, I think there's. No, as I said, that's why I was just doing a scoping kind of thing. I was just looking around to see what things, and as much as we could.
Yeah,
I had no
absolutely.
time for political conversations with, good guys. So, but,
I was waiting for someone to actually shoot him. He got that close.
I know, right?
I think David and I were pretty close on that one.
You were.
But I don't see that if he didn't open the lock up within 5 minutes, I was going to shoot the lock off. Just
I
so
think
you
as soon as you
Okay.
said that, oh no, the tactical droid refers to people as meat packs, and he's like, oh,
Kindred spirit.
Yeah, it was funny.
And I classified in them holding that Mandalorian stuff as museum stuff, as even it might not be our clans, it's still Mandalorian stuff, and I still think it's history, Mandalorian history.
It'd be
So
funny
I was
if you
like-
brought it out and it was all plastic.
Well, but I
It's
felt
all
it was
3D
more like
printed.
when he started saying that, that's why I just bit my tongue, just nodded, smiled, nodded and shrugged because I had the helmet at the time. My facial expressions would have been, "You're an idiot," but yeah, but that's all right. I got the 3 hours I had lunch for. I got it all out of the system, but I took the big one shut off. Okay, I'm feeling a bit better now. Got out of the system.
Quiet in the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, so considering it is after 10ish, we might stop it there for tonight.
Yeah.
Considering I need painkillers.
Great stuff. Yep, no worries.
I will say thank you very much for joining, Mark.
No, it's okay. I'll see you on Friday. Oh, and see Kizzy on Friday too.
Yeah. So, I might join online on Friday as well, but either way, see you Friday.
We shall see how we go. Okay, so thank you very much, and I will see you later, Mark.
No problems, guys. Catch you
Yeah.
later.
Bye.
See ya.